The inspiration for Artreach began a couple years ago when I took a job that was an unexpected shift for me in my life to return back into an art capacity after a decade of homeschooling and sick children and all the things that our life path has brought us. It was a big shift, and it was an opportunity where the Lord began to speak into my heart truth that I wasn't aware, or that I needed to know, or that was useful to the world. And it became a catalyst for just a mentality of a little slogan I developed, that friends help friends make great art. And it's simple. It's a concept of community building and using the arts in a way that draws us together. And so that, combined with some artist friends who have an organization called Art Serve International that they operate in Ecuador. It's a mission field that they serve through an art center that they have built. And I leaned into them and what I was learning from them about their approach of actual feet on the ground ministry using art, coupled also with just my upbringing of my dad. I'm a second generation art educator, and he retired from the Fort Smith Public Schools, and art was always interwoven through what he was doing. So when the opportunity came that we had this outreach center, and the staff was looking at ways to use that building to engage the community around it, I think I had an offhand conversation with Tim Beasley in the hallway while I was working on the mural, and he mentioned something about doing an art outreach program over there, and kind of chuckled and walked off. And I was left painting, and all of those pieces began to fall back together in my mind, as this seemed like potentially the perfect vehicle. So I investigated a little bit, and I found that a grant that we had written for the Art Center, they would actually allow me to bring it over and use it here to fund at the Outreach Center. So we were now, within a few hours, a fully funded art outreach program. And we had no materials, and we needed a lot of manpower because we had no idea how many kiddos we were going to be reaching. And that also fell into place so quickly. And we had more help than I have ever had in any endeavor in my life. And every week I had probably 7 or 8 teaching assistants. And I was very spoiled, and it allowed us to do some really huge projects and reach those sweet kids on an individual level that wouldn't have been possible, with one teacher in an art classroom where you're so limited by just what you can manage. And so we were able to keep it balanced and exciting and engaging for the ones from 4 all the way up to, I think our oldest was 17. So at any point we had somewhere between 15 and 35 kids, and never really knew how many we were planning for. But again, that was also always part of the excitement. We would meet after school, and our volunteers would have snacks spread out for them. And then we would have our lessons that were built around different concepts and ideas. So one week we had a guest speaker come in, my father, who's a wood turner, and he seeks out wood that is broken and twisted and diseased, and he turns it into a beautiful work of art, which is the perfect segue for the ministry aspect of that we too are broken and twisted and diseased, and the Lord creates us into these beautiful masterpieces when we yield to the Maker's hands. Another week we worked with still life drawings in charcoal, which is incredibly messy and exciting, and we turned off all the lights in the gym, and I slowly turned on lights to reveal the objects that we were going to be drawing. So as the light would hit the object, it would reveal more of what that object was in truth. And the more lights I turned on, the more that we could see. Of course, you see the connection, right? And that we got to explain to the kids is that Christ is the light to the world and banishes the darkness. And as his light fills our world, it reveals truth not only in the world around us, but also in ourselves. So our goal for these lessons was that the kids not just learn about creativity, not just have these art experiences and gain confidence, and not just feel loved and connected in this community, because that can happen so many places. But what we wanted was to have an authentic and true way to share Christ's love with them and his hope and redemption, that be the foundation for this community that we're trying to build. So honestly, when I began working with the Art Reach program, it was kind of hesitant and reluctant. I had a prior career as a classroom teacher, teaching art, long ago, before my babies. And I thought that chapter of my life had closed. And I thought that the Lord was leading me in a brand new and exciting direction, working in my studio now that my children are, no longer need me as much. But it was a beautiful thing to see how the Lord married both my past and my present in a way that was totally necessary and totally usable. And so wherever your giftings have been in the past, whatever your experiences have been, those are useful and purposeful today. Wherever the Lord has you in this season of your life, that is useful and purposeful. So if you have an interest, if you have a talent, a hobby, an ability to serve in any capacity, submitted to the Lord, those become useful and purposeful and beautiful, beautiful ways to reach out and love others. And I think that's what we're all here for. We are widely varied and beautiful creations, and each one of us is so very different, and I'm so thankful that is the case. You don't have to look like other people, and you don't have to be what they are or be able to do what they are to be a useful tool in God's kingdom.